So a cop decides to strike a human being, because they were having a seizure. Here it is. Put up full mask. So sad. A cop punches a man for allegedly not complying, but the man was having a seizure at the moment. A lawsuit is alleging a North Carolina trooper not only dragged, but punched a disabled man after a crash caused by a seizure. North Carolina law is forbidding the release of these videos to the public. It took court hearings over a span of nearly a year before the charges against the man were finally completely dismissed. Atlanta Black Star reports on the details. Infuriated that a man suffered an epileptic seizure, was not complying with his orders as he convulsed in the driver's seat of his car. A North Carolina state trooper decided to punch the man in the face and then dragged him by his ankles across rocks and gravel before handcuffing and arresting him on false charges. North Carolina Highway Patrol Sgt. Ashley Smith then transported Thomas Simmons to the hospital before filing charges of assault on a government official, reckless driving, resisting arrest, delaying and obstructing an officer against the 46-year-old Native American and former mental health specialist for the North Department of Adult Corrections. The accident, May 25th, 2024, as Simmons was working as a driver for Walmart making delivery. He suffered a seizure. He lost consciousness. He lost control of his vehicle, the claim states. 2008 Mercury Sable. He was driving, was sideswiped by a Mercedes-Benz before crashing into a concrete pole, causing the pole to topple over. Willie Smith, the driver of the Mercedes that had been sideswiped, told Trooper Smith, no relation, that Simmons appeared to have suffered a seizure. He even could call it, okay? Trooper Smith ordered him out of the car, but when Simmons would not comply, he busted out the passenger side window with his baton. The events following the accident were captured on police body and dash cam, but North Carolina law forbids the release of the videos to the public. That's a different conversation that we have had on this show. The lawsuit states, but after punching and dragging Simmons on the ground, leaving the man bleeding from multiple places on his body, Smith tried to justify his actions by telling the Greenville cops arriving on the scene that Simmons was, quote, on meth, end quote, without a shred of evidence that meth was involved. On Tuesday, September 23rd, Simmons filed a lawsuit against Smith, accusing the cop of violating his Fourth Amendment rights through excessive force, unreasonable seizure, lying about his probable cause claim to arrest Simmons, as well as battery and violating the Americans with Disabilities Act, which is meant to protect people with disabilities instead of abusing and arresting them on false charges. Quote, the camera footage is not publicly available due to North Carolina law, said attorney Jalen Denise Miller in a text message to Atlanta Black Star, who was representing Simmons on behalf of Emancipate NC, a North Carolina civil rights organization dedicated to criminal justice reform. Quote, we cannot share it with the media per a court order, end quote. After transporting Simmons to a hospital, the trooper continued to accuse him of being high on methamphetamine, but Simmons told him he had suffered an epileptic seizure. Despite his accusations, Smith did not charge Simmons with any drug-related offenses, falsely accused him of assaulting a police officer, which is a common charge used against those they abuse in order to justify the abuse. Quote, in the months following the incident, plaintiff was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, and depression, the claim states. Okay, so it is ironic that the individual who was involved in the accident said, yeah, I think the guy had a seizure. And the trooper, who is supposed to be trained on not only various elements of law enforcement and understanding what a crime looks like, but also understanding what a mental health condition looks like too. They're trained on both. He decides to not even consider the commentary or the proclamation from the person involved in the accident and treated this human being subhuman. In addition to that, he then lies to the city police who responded. The city police, they have no reason to believe that the cop is going to lie to them about meth. They're just pulling up. So the cop utilizes his trust equity that he has with the police in order to make a victim of this man with another police jurisdiction again. That should be a crime in itself. Hell, if you lied to the city police, they'll get you with obstruction, easy. So why isn't the cop charged for lying to the police and also the violence against the victim? All right, Senator, thoughts here.
Yeah, Doc, again, amen. I mean, to drag and punch somebody, let's say the man was high. Is this how you treat him, though? I mean, there's no evidence, Doc. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. There's no evidence that this man was violent, number one. Number two, no evidence so far that he was trying to use the vehicle as a weapon. You know, I'm trying to get to some understanding as to why this trooper would treat this person in this way, even if they were, but we know that they weren't. But even if they were, in the worst case scenario, why would you treat the man like this? Mm-hmm. You are not the judge, the jury, and the executioner, or at least you're not supposed to. You're supposed to make the arrest and then let the courts decide. But before you get to, it's just this violent nature. I mean, he got all amped up because you're not obeying what I say do without even surveying the situation first and treating this person the way he should be treated in the process of an arrest. Mm-hmm. I hope that this person wins their lawsuit, and especially because they filed under the Americans with Disabilities Act. They should be ashamed of themselves. This person is, this trooper has definitely done a disservice to the troopers. Yeah. It's not a good representation of the troopers. And usually, Doc, troopers conduct themselves usually a little better, usually, than the regular law enforcement agencies, but it's definitely fallen short on this. It really is a shame and a stain on the troopers.
Many trooper agencies pride themselves in being uber professional.
Yes.
In their interaction. Now, of course, we've seen nuances of that not be the case.
Of course.
But as an agency, they typically like now they'll still give you a ticket and maximize the penalty and all that. Yeah. But not losing their cool is one of those dynamics that they say set them apart. And you're right, this doesn't help
not in this case.
Troopers anywhere to back this guy.